July, stage 7, balance when the world feels unbalanced. I've been thinking about balance, not the serene kind of balance when we imagine everything is calm, the house is clean, the inbox is empty, and everyone is being kind. I mean balance when the world feels heartbreaking, when cruelty seems loud, when control, fear, and power over seem to be taking up too much space, when the earth itself feels overheated and unsettled, and our nervous systems are trying to make sense of too much at once. This is where July brings me in my reflections on the Mari Great Round. July brings us to stage 7, balance, also known as squaring the circle. And that phrase feels important right now. Squaring the circle. How do we bring the circle of our inner life into the square of the world we actually live in? How do we stay connected to soul, body, intuition, and truth while still functioning in a world that can feel harsh, divided, and unstable? Stage 7 is a stage of autonomy, stability, consciousness, and independent thought. The ego is more expressed here, not ego as arrogance or self-importance, rather ego as the healthy part of us that can stand in a center and say, I'm here. I can think, I can choose, I can respond. And that matters, especially now. There are times when being is the medicine, and we need to rest, grieve, feel, soften, and let ourselves not know. I believe deeply in that. There's also times when something in us says, now I need to do something with what I know. Stage 7 carries that movement. We're deeply ready to do, not only be, not in a frantic way, not in the old pattern of overworking, over giving, or trying to prove our worth. This is different. This is a different kind of doing. It's doing that comes from alignment, doing that has roots, that remembers the body, not just reaction, and it's not collapse. In the heat of the summer, this stage makes sense to me. There's more movement, more energy, more sensuality, more life force. July can stir desire, frustration, courage, exhaustion, pleasure, and longing all at once. You may feel pulled toward outward travel, family, friends, work, learning, creativity, and the practical demands of just living. Somewhere inside of all of that, there's a quieter question that may arise. What am I here to live? Not in a grand, shiny, perfectly branded way, in a real way. What dream still matters? What truth needs more room? And what work is mine to do? Stage 7 is also connected, for me, to the number 7, the seeker. And I'm talking numerology. The seeker looks beneath the surface. It wants meaning, wisdom, truth, and spiritual understanding. It studies, it questions, it listens, analyzes, and senses. The gift of the seeker is depth. The challenge is that we can drift too far into the mind. We can analyze the world, read the news, study the patterns, track the danger, and try to make sense of what may not be immediately sensible. The body can get left behind. The heart can get tired, and the nervous system can start carrying more than it's meant to hold. This is one reason I return again and again to mandala making. The mandala does not fix the world or pretend everything is fine. It gives us a circle. When things feel scattered, It gives the hand something to do when the mind is spinning. It gives the soul a way to speak without needing perfect words. A mandala can hold grief and beauty in the same image. It can hold outrage and tenderness. It can hold the part of us that wants to act and the part of us that needs to lie down for a while. This is the kind of balance I'm interested in now. Not balance as perfection, not balance as denial, balance as the practice of returning to center, to breathe, to exhale, to what is true, and the next honest step. And I have a quiet seed for what may come next. As I continue writing about the Mari and sharing it in these videos, by the month, I'm also beginning to imagine a simple monthly mandala ritual for clarity and integration. I'm not ready to launch it yet. Summer is full. I'll be traveling on and off, especially through September. And for now, I'm just letting the idea take root quietly. What I imagine is a gentle space to pause, make a mandala, and return to center. A way of gathering what we're living, notice what's becoming clear, and let the image help us integrate what words cannot always hold. It feels like something that may want to grow in its own time. But for July, stage 7, invites us to consider how we live our dream in a world that can feel deeply unsettled. It asks us to bring inner knowing to outer life, to stay awake without becoming hardened, to care without disappearing, and to act without abandoning ourselves. Balance is not always stillness. Sometimes balance is the brave, imperfect practice of staying connected to ourselves while we keep living, loving, creating, and choosing. Not everything at once, just the next step. I wish you a fulfilling July and a restful summer. Bye for now.